Start to settle into the present moment. Begin to let go of your day. Let go of anything that's not serving you right now. Begin to quiet your mind and bring stillness to your body. Feel yourself in this space and connect with your body. Notice your back up against the mat and the mat supporting you, the earth cradling you. Notice if your feet are touching one another or if they're touching the earth. Where are they connecting? How does it feel to have one side of your body connecting with the other side? Start with a body scan from the crown of the head, moving downward and consciously relaxing each part of your body, allowing your forehead to melt back and down, allowing your eyes to soften, your jaw to release. Feel your shoulders melting into the mat. Body and belly is softening. Hips are open. Legs heavy. Feet and toes released. And begin to bring your attention to your breath. Without trying to change anything right now, just become an observer. How does it feel to have the ability to breathe? Where do your inhalations pause to then meet your exhalations? Where does that space exist? I wanted to share a sutra from the Radiant Sutras with you, which is an ancient yogic text that just gives us some ways of living in meditation and can help us return to the present moment when we're feeling distracted or anxious or overwhelmed. When you close your eyes, attention turns toward the inner glow. The heart sees by its own light, pulsing with subtle flame. In your forehead is a single eye. Here, streams of living electricity flow together. The body of substance and the body of light fuse into one. Above your head, a star is shining, the soul, luminous in its own realm. Life arises from itself in a swirling motion of flame. Being becomes body. In meditation, adore the subtle fire in heart, head, and above. Dissolve into radiance. So as we begin to lengthen the breath here, maybe place a hand on your belly and a hand on your heart. And breathe into that hand that's on your belly, filling the belly up all the way, feeling the rib cage expand, and then feel the heart rise. And at the top of the inhalation, pause for a moment And then slowly exhale, emptying out from the top of your breath down through your rib cage, feeling your stomach and low belly contracting. Inhale back into the belly, filling up the ribs, allowing your heart to rise. And sigh it out the mouth, letting it all go. One more time, just like that. Deep inhalation into the belly. Extending both sides of the body, filling up the heart and lungs. And exhale, sigh it out. And I'll invite you to set an intention for tonight's practice. Something that you'd like to work on. Maybe it's acceptance, slowing down, awareness, self-love, or quiet. Begin to flutter open your eyes if they've been closed. And we'll take one big breath together to seal your intention. And exhale, let go of anything not working for you. Bringing your hands now to the outside of both of your knees. Slowly start to draw them together, planting your feet on the mat. And nice and slow, begin to windshield wiper your legs back and forth, allowing your hips to relax and open. Engage your low belly as you're doing this. Maybe bring your hands to your very lowest abs on your low belly. And engage those abs to release any tension from the low back. Walk your feet in so that you can graze the heels with the backs of your fingertips. And then bring your right foot up and cross your ankle over your left knee. Coming into a gentle hip opener here. You can stay here, keeping your shoulders down on the mat. Or you can begin to float the left foot, reaching behind the left knee, drawing the right leg in towards you for a nice gentle hip opener. And maybe you rock side to side a little bit here, encouraging your body to allow those openings to come gradually. Notice where your mind goes and gently encourage it to come back to the present moment. Allow your foot to return to the earth if it's off the mat. And bring your arms out to a T or a cactus on either side of you. And then begin to let your right ankle fall over to the left side of your mat, coming into a gentle twist. If this is too much, you can put a block or a pillow underneath that left knee to catch you here. And start to notice your muscles. Notice any tension that your muscles are carrying. And breathe into that tension. Allowing it to release. Inhale back up to center and place your right foot back to the mat. Taking a moment here to reset. And then cross your left ankle over your right knee. Staying here if this is enough of a stretch for you. Or you can lift the right leg and begin to cradle the right knee, coming into this figure 4 position. Relax the shoulders into the mat. Soften the face here. Maybe you sway side to side, or maybe you start to extend that right foot up toward the ceiling. Yoga has many translations, but it's pretty commonly accepted that yoga is the connection and the linking and the union of our breath with our movement. So in your practice tonight, try to remain present with your movements and try to link them to your breath. Replacing the right foot back down to the mat, bringing your hands to a T or a cactus. Allow the left foot to fall down to the right side of the mat. Your right hand may come to your left knee. Maybe you look over your left shoulder. Notice if there's a difference from one side to the other. There often is. Try to identify where your work is. On your next inhalation, bringing your knees back up to center, uncross the left foot and return it to the mat. Allow yourself to come onto one side, pausing in a fetal position for just a moment, giving some gratitude to the earth for cradling you. And then begin to work your way up to a seated position. And we'll be here for a couple minutes, so I would recommend grabbing a pillow or a block or something to sit on so that your hips can be even or even a little bit above the knees here, and your spine can be stacked nice and long. Notice your heart right over your hips and your head over your heart. And root down to the ground with your sits bones, maybe rocking side to side for a moment. Feeling your sits bones connecting to whatever it is you're sitting on. And feel the crown of your head extending toward the ceiling. My intention tonight is related to the niyamas, which are personal observances in yoga. On the next inhale, rise your arms high above your head, palms kiss, and exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, dropping your right hand down. Begin to bend over into that right side body, feeling the left side body extending, right side body condensing. Breathing here. The niyamas are one of the 8 limbs of yoga, and they help us observe ourselves and our own behaviors. Take a big inhale. Exhale, sink into that side a little further. On your next inhale, sweep your hand forward in front of you. Planting your left hand, right arm comes up and over. Condensing in the left side body now, expanding in the right side body. Relax your shoulders here, hugging in the low ribs. So I've been spending my day today and the past couple weeks thinking about where I can find contentment in my life right now with so much uncertainty. And being present in the moment has been one thing that's been bringing me that contentment. Take one more big inhale. On the exhale, sweeping your hand in front of you, coming back up to a seated position. Tent your fingertips and bring them just a little bit behind you. Drawing your shoulder blades toward one another, opening your heart. Keep hugging in and engaging the low ribs. Keep finding length in your spine. And keep grounding down through your heels, your shins, your feet, your knees, whatever part of you is connecting to the earth here. Now we'll inhale, rise up one more time. And exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, rise. And exhale, we'll bring our hands to a cactus and really shine your heart open. Holding here for a moment, making those micro adjustments to find some peace and balance in the body. Inhale, arms rise. And exhale, twist to the right, dropping your left hand down behind you. Right hand behind you, sorry. Left hand comes to your right knee. Inhale and lengthen the spine. And exhale, twist. Inhale, come back up through center. And exhale, twist to the opposite side. Left hand comes to plant behind you on the mat. Right hand comes to left knee. Inhale, back through center. We'll do one more on either side. Exhale, twisting to the right. Inhale, back through center. And exhale, twisting to the other side. Inhale, bringing your hands back to your heart. And then down to your knees. And we'll warm up the hips a little more with some gentle hip circles. See if you can connect your movement here to your breath as well. So on your inhales, almost like we're doing a seated cat-cow. Inhales, we're shining our heart forward. And exhales, we're retracting. Maybe you even bring your head into it and raise your chin on your inhalation, lowering the chin on the exhalation. And if you haven't switched directions yet, go ahead and switch. And if you happen to find something that needs a little extra attention, like a specific spot you want to stay there. Listen to the messages your body is giving you. My words are only a suggestion. Coming to stillness, we'll begin to roll over our knees and make our way into a tabletop position. Make sure your hands are stacked right underneath your shoulders. Fingers are spread wide and we're pushing through the fingers all the way into the fingertips. Knees are hips width distance and they're right under the hip points. We're on the tops of our feet here. And think about your tailbone moving away from you, behind you, and the very crown of your head shining forward in front of you. Nice long spine here, long in the neck. And we'll do a couple rounds of cat-cow. So on the inhale, drop the belly, lifting the chin, shining the heart through. Exhale, rounding the spine, tucking the chin, pushing away from the mat. Inhale, cow pose, opening up. And exhale, drawing that energy back in, rounding the spine. One more here. Inhale, rise. And exhale, moving into a cat pose. Coming back to a neutral spine, we'll bring the big toes to touch and allow the knees to come out wide. And sit back into a child's pose. Sitting back to your heels. Bringing your forehead again to a block or a pillow if needed. Otherwise, right down to the mat. Reaching your hands forward and away from you and allowing your shoulders to melt down. Breathing here, feeling your forehead and your third eye, connecting to the earth, opening up your intuitive vision. This child's pose is our resting pose in yoga. So if at any time during the practice you need a little bit of a break or you're feeling too much sensation, you can always pause in a child's pose to reconnect with the breath and just to reset yourself. So with your arms extended outward, begin to walk your hands over to the left side of your mat for a gentle stretch on the right side again. And bringing your right hand over the left, if that feels good, for a little bit more sensation. And notice your hips sinking down toward your heels, never having to touch if they don't make it. Feel your muscles releasing and softening. Take an inhalation and walk your hands through center and over to the right side of your mat. Maybe your left hand comes on top of the right now. Letting your shoulders fall down your back. Noticing if your jaw is tight or if the little muscles around your eyes need to soften. Walking your hands back to center, we'll move into a child's pose, thread the needle here. So walk your hands up just a little bit, and if you prefer the traditional thread the needle, you can come back up. But I'll encourage you to try to stay low with me and see how this feels. So on your inhale, lifting your right arm up to the sky. Do a couple wrist circles here, maybe make a fist and then extend your fingers nice and long, stretching out your hand. And then thread your right hand under your left arm, bringing your right shoulder down to the mat. Allow your temple or your side of your right cheek to come down to the mat as well. Your left arm can reach out in front of you, or maybe it comes around behind you for a partial bind. Take some deep breaths here. Big inhalation through the nose and sigh it out the mouth. One more nice cleansing breath like that. Big inhale through the nose. And exhale, sigh it out the mouth. Returning your left hand to the mat if it was behind your back, maybe walking it in just a little bit. Push through that left hand, raising the right arm up to the sky once more to open up the shoulder and placing the right hand back down to the mat. And we'll take it to the other side. So now lifting the left arm, doing some wrist circles, making a fist and extending your fingers nice and long. And then weave your hand underneath your right arm, threading the needle on the left side. Left shoulder comes down to the mat. Right arm can extend outward, or maybe it comes behind your back. Take a big breath in here. Exhale, let something go. Inhale, feel your shoulders sinking into the mat. And exhale, allow it. One more big cleansing breath. And bringing your right arm back out in front of you, pushing into the right palm, extending the left arm up to the sky once more, and then replacing it down to the mat. Coming back up to a tabletop position. Start to walk your hands out a little bit in front of you, shifting your weight forward, and lower yourself all the way down to your belly. Hands are planted right underneath our shoulders. And come up into a gentle baby cobra here. There should be little to no weight in your hands. Gaze is down and in front of us so your neck can remain long. Shoulder blades are drawing toward one another. And exhale, come down to the mat. Make a pillow with your hands. And start to windshield wiper your legs, releasing the low back here. Allowing your legs to come back down. Placing your hands underneath your shoulders. Coming up to baby cobra once more, or pushing a little deeper to a more full expression. Engage your glutes here. Feel the tops of your feet really pressing down into the mat. Drop your shoulder blades down and draw them toward one another. Take a big breath in and exhale, release. One more time, yogi's choice. You can stay in baby cobra, come up to full cobra, or you can bring your thighs off the mat, coming into upward facing dog. Push through all 10 fingers and fingertips here. And make sure your heart is open. And then maybe you look over one shoulder and then the other. Just bring a little fluid movement into this pose. Dropping back down to your knees, push up through tabletop. Tuck your toes here and begin to make your way to your downward facing dog. Lifting your hips nice and high toward the ceiling. Keeping your knees bent as much as you need to. Start to pedal out your dog. Bending into one knee and then the other. Maybe wagging the hips side to side a little bit. Wag your tail. Coming up on the toes and back down. The heart is moving toward the thighs. And think about the creases in the hips working their way all the way toward the ceiling. Engage that low belly again. Find your mountain pose here. Feel your tailbone extending away from the crown of your head. Bend your knees generously, look forward, and nice and slow begin to walk to the front of your mat. Allow your feet to come nice and wide, and we'll move into a ragdoll pose. So bending your knees as much as you need to, grabbing opposite elbows, sway side to side and let gravity do its job. Releasing the whole back here. Maybe shake your head yes and no. Take a big inhale and sigh it out. What is something you can let go right now? Releasing your hands, bend your knees and start to roll your way all the way up nice and slow to a standing position. Bringing your feet to hips width distance, we'll find our mountain pose. Really root down through all four corners of your feet. And I want you to bend your knees generously and think about scooping energy up from the ground, up your front body, raising your hands up to the sky in our extended mountain pose. Palms remain shoulder width distance apart. Breathing here, relaxing the shoulders, engaging the core, zipping everything up toward your midline. And then exhale, releasing your hands down. Feel that energy moving down your back body, rooting your heels down into the ground. We're gonna do that a couple more times, creating this energy loop. So bending your knees, scooping the sky, scooping the energy up and over your front body. Inhale and exhale, feeling that energy moving down your back body, all the way through your heels, rooting you to the earth. Last time, inhale deeply, arms rise. Maybe you even bring a tiny little back bend into it this time. And exhale, coming back to your mountain pose. We'll bring our hands to our heart, pausing here for a moment. Checking back in with that intention that you set at the beginning of your class. Are you moving slowly enough? Are you honoring your body? Are you able to quiet the mind? Inhale, arms rise. And exhale, come into a forward fold. Keep your knees bent as much as you need to so your hands can be down at either side of your feet. Inhale, lift up halfway to a nice flat back. Hands can come to the knees or the shins or the thighs. And find that mountain in your back here. Holding for a moment. Take a big inhalation. And exhale, pour it all down, forward fold. Inhale, rising back up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, rise. Exhale, swan dive forward. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands and step your left foot back behind you, coming into a runner's lunge. Allow your back knee to stay up for a moment. And draw your right hip back, your left hip forward to really square off those hips. See if you can open your heart. And then drop the back knee. Any knee sensitivity, you can fold over your mat or grab a sweatshirt or a blanket or something and put it right underneath your knee to protect the knees here. And you can keep your toes tucked or you can untuck them, whatever you're comfortable with again. So this could also be a nice place to use blocks if you're feeling a little unsteady here. Engage your belly. Think about your thighs drawing toward one another. Oh, Coney's saying hi. He knows it's yoga time. And then inhale, rise your arms up nice and high. Holding here in our low lunge. Feel your left hip flexor opening. Soften your shoulders. Make sure your head is right over your heart. Your heart is over your hips here. Bring your pinkies toward one another to help open your back body. Keep breathing. Notice if your mind is starting to ask when we're leaving this pose. That's when your practice really begins. One more breath in. Maybe you cactus your arms on the exhale. Inhale, rise back up. Exhale, bring your hands back down to frame your foot. Keeping your left hand planted on the ground. Inhale and rise your right arm up, coming into a low lunge twist. Soft belly here. Keep drawing your thighs toward one another. One shoulder is stacked right over the other. Your gaze might be up toward the ceiling or down toward the floor. Play around. If you normally do one thing, see what feels good. Maybe changing it up will help. And then release the right hand back down to the earth. Tuck your back toes and come up off your back knee. Plant your hands and your right foot meets your back, coming into a plank. You can stay here, you can always drop down to the knees if this is too much. We'll hold here for just a moment. Keep breathing, nice and strong core. And then inhale, shift your weight forward a little bit. Exhale, lower all the way down to the belly. Inhale, come into that baby cobra. And exhale, release. Inhale, full cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And exhale, release down to the mat. Tuck your toes, push yourself through tabletop or your plank, and make your way back to your down dog. Walk it out for a moment here. Notice how you feel and breathe. On your next inhalation, bend your knees, looking forward, walk, step, or jump. What are you doing? Come to the front of your mat. Come into a forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rooting down through your heels, rise all the way up. Palms kiss overhead, maybe there's a little back bend here. And exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, arms rise. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant those hands and step back with your right foot this time, coming into a runner's lunge with your left foot in front. Stay up on the back knee for a moment and set up your foundation here. Draw the left hip back and the right hip forward so the hips are aligned. See if you can start to bring your weight just into your legs, maybe get soft on your fingertips here, opening the heart, engaging the core. And then drop down to the right knee. Maybe you slide it back a little bit so you're off the main part of the knee here. And when you feel sturdy and secure, inhale, rise on up. Engaging the glutes, drawing the thighs toward one another. Head over heart, heart over hips. Holding here. Reconnect with your breath. Feel the top of your right foot pushing firmly into the mat. Big inhale. Exhale, cactus your arms. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, bring your hands down to frame your front foot. Right hand plants. Left arm rises up to the sky, coming into a low lunge with a twist. Holding here, strong in the midline. Maybe you play around with your gaze, looking up and looking down. One more big breath in. And exhale, plant your hand back down. Tuck your back toes and lift the back knee. And then start to rock yourself back up to stand, coming into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, arms rise. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands, stepping back, either straight to down dog or taking a vinyasa here if that's in your practice. Moving through high to low push-up. Inhaling to cobra or up dog. And exhaling to down dog. We'll stay here for 3 rounds of breath. So if you need to drop down to a child's pose or take a drink of water, now would be a good time for a quick little break. And let's all drop down to the knees if you're still in down dog. Allow your big toes to touch and come down to a child's pose for a moment. Inhale, push up to tabletop. And then exhale, start to bring your right knee toward your right wrist. Right ankle comes toward your left wrist. And scooting the left knee back, we'll come into a pigeon pose. And if this is too much, you can take the figure 4 pose that we did at the beginning of class. Or you can take a pillow or a block and place it right underneath that right hip to let you sink into the hip. We'll be here for a couple minutes. It's a deep hip opener. And you'll go through phases as you settle into this pose. So really allow yourself the supports that you need right now. So inhale, open up your heart, puffing your chest open like a beautiful king pigeon. And then you can stay here or you can exhale and start to crawl your hands forward, coming down onto your forearms, or maybe all the way down to your belly, allowing your forehead to meet the mat. Making a little pillow with your hands, sinking into this pose. And again, if this is too much on your knees, coming onto your back and doing this as a figure 4 achieves the same exact results. It's just a little bit less intense. So again, this is a great place to practice body awareness and really taking the cues from your body. So if your eyes are starting to tighten or your shoulders are creeping up toward your ears, your body is giving you information here. Taking some deep breaths, notice where your mind has gone. Notice if it started to wander. Picture any thoughts in your mind as beautiful little clouds in the sky. Our thoughts are important, they're nourishing at times, but they can also cloud our clarity. So it's your decision, do I want to allow these thoughts to be present right now? Or do I want to work like the wind and blow them away for the time being? Notice your muscle as it hugs your bone. Notice your breath and where it's going. Send it directly into the right hip, asking that hip to open. Celebrate the little tiny successes. Take one more nice deep breath into your lower back. And exhale, sigh it out. Begin to crawl your hands back up toward you, coming back up, and start to sit down on the right hip, keeping that right foot tucked in, and allow the left leg to swing around and over the right, coming into a cross-legged position. If this is too much, you can come to just a regular seated position. But see if you can stack one knee on top of the other. This is, again, another intense hip opener, so be present with the sensations as they arise and know when to back off here. So you may want to bring your hands behind you and push into the ground to really extend and lengthen your spine. Feel your rib cage separating away from your pelvic floor. And we're breathing here. And if you'd like to deepen this stretch, you can start to walk your feet a little more toward you. And we'll bring some shoulders into it. This can be a really nice place too to give yourself a little foot massage if your feet are feeling tired. So if you'd like to bring your shoulders into it, we'll inhale, lift the arms, and my left leg is on top, so I'll be dropping my right arm behind me. Bring your left arm around underneath your back and work toward bringing your hands to touch. You can grab the back of your shirt here for support, or if you have a strap, you can use that. Otherwise, just flattening the hands and working them toward one another. Keep hugging in the low ribs, lengthening the spine, and allowing the hips to drop down toward the mat. Taking some nice, deep, deliberate breaths here. Inhale, releasing the arms. Bringing that left leg back behind us. Move back into a tabletop position and sit back in child's pose for just a moment to reset here. Notice if you're feeling a difference from one hip to the other right now before we take it to the other side. Inhale yourself back up to your tabletop position and begin to crawl the left knee forward now toward the left wrist. Left ankle comes toward right wrist, and then we walk back the right knee, setting up for our pigeon pose here. And again, if you need to put a block right underneath the left hip, or take this on your back, go ahead and move to wherever you need to be. Inhale, drawing your shoulder blades together, puff open that chest. And exhale, start to crawl yourself forward, bending over into sleeping pigeon. Take a deep inhalation. And exhale, let something go that's not working in your life. Let go of worry, let go of anxiety. Let go of self-sabotage. Whatever it is, let it go, even if it's just for this moment. Bring your attention right to the hip and imagine you are inside, watching the muscle as it hugs your bones, watching it slowly, cat face, watching it slowly let go, slowly softening and lengthening. Contentment is a tricky thing because it seems like those of us who have things to be grateful for should be content and grateful for those things. But it's a real practice, the practice of contentment, the practice of gratitude. Our minds are drawn to dark places. They're drawn to the negative. They're drawn to those fears and anxieties that we hold on to. So it's our practice. It's to our benefit to be conscious about bringing our minds to the places of contentment. Recognizing how lucky we are to have shelter, Wi-Fi, food, our breath, movement. One more big breath in, and on the exhale, slowly start to crawl your hands back up. Sitting down toward the left hip, allow the right leg to come up and over. Stacking your right knee on top of your left now. And maybe you just more have your ankle toward your knee, and that's fine. Again, be accepting. Be content with what you're working with. Allow your hips to sink down into the mat. Feel your upper body moving away from your pelvic floor. And you can bring your hands behind you to lengthen your spine a little bit more. And then bringing your left arm up above your head, bending your elbow and dropping it, reaching it out behind you, and bringing your right arm down and around to try to connect your hands. A lot of times this adds a lot of flexion in the low spine. So we do want to hug in that belly, strengthen the core here. See if we can flatten the spine. Notice if your shoulders are starting to creep up to your ears. Let them settle down. Feel what parts of your body are working that don't need to be working right now. Maybe you're feeling your quads are engaged, or your shins or calves or even your toes are starting to strain. See if you can let them release. Breathing deeply. Allowing for the openings to come. Sometimes in life we try to muscle our way into situations. And in yoga, we can muscle our way into poses, but that's not going to make our body feel safe. We want to tell our bodies, I got you. I'll be gentle. And then we'll find that the openings will come. One more big breath in. And exhale, start to unwind. Bringing your right knee back to the mat. Coming back into a tabletop position once more. Before we bring the big toes to touch and sitting back into your child's pose. Allow your third eye to melt into the mat. Maybe sway side to side a little bit on your hips, feeling all that work that you just did. And then as if you were drawing a line on your mat with your nose, start to crawl your body forward, coming onto your belly. Make a little pillow with your hands. One last time, windshield wiper those legs back and forth. And when you feel ready, rolling over through a fetal position, moving to your back, allowing your legs to extend out long, coming into your Shavasana, your final resting point. And if you need a sweatshirt or socks or a sip of water, or if there's one more pose that's calling your name, feel free to listen to the call. Do what's right for you before you make your way to Shavasana. Otherwise, allowing your arms to come down at your sides. Palms can be up or down. Down for grounding and connection. Up if you're feeling like you need a little more energy. Closing your eyes. Release any control that you had over your breath. And allow your body to melt away into the mat. Bringing your attention to the crown of your head. Feel the back of your head connecting to the earth. Feel your forehead softening, creating space between your brows. Feel your eyelids smooth, your eyes floating in space. Breathe into your cheeks and allow them to hollow. Notice if your jaw is clenched, or maybe your tongue is stuck to the roof of your mouth. And just begin to unpeel it and allow it to settle in the bottom of your mouth. Feeling the muscles in your throat, collarbones, chest and heart opening. Feeling your shoulder blades supporting you and holding you to the ground. Allow your belly to be soft here, telling yourself that you are safe. Feel the work that we did in your hips. Notice if they're feeling a little more at ease. Observe the weight of your arms. Running your attention down your arms to your hands. Feeling your hands from the inside out. Allowing your fingers to soften and float. Now follow the heaviness of your legs down past your knees, bringing your attention down your calves to your ankles, feet, and toes. Letting go. Now visualize roots coming out from the bottom of your feet and starting to carry you into the earth. Feel yourself being cradled by our Mother Earth. Roots are growing deep. Your body sinking into the soil. Letting gravity do its job. No need to strain or bring any tension into your mind or your body. Feel your roots growing through all the layers of soil, down through the magma, toward the core of the earth. At the core, feel your roots connecting to our Mother Earth and all the other living beings on our planet. And feel that positive, light, radiant energy here, connecting us all. And I'll read that sutra once more. When you close your eyes, attention turns toward the inner glow. The heart sees by its own light, pulsing with subtle flame. In your forehead is a single eye. Here, streams of living electricity flow together. The body of substance and the body of light fuse into one. Above your head, a star is shining. The soul, luminous in its own realm. Life arises from itself in a swirling motion of flame. Being becomes body. In meditation, adore the subtle fire in heart, head, and above. Dissolve into radiance. Feel the radiance from the center of the earth, moving up through your taproots, coming back to your body, back to your soul and your being, filling you with light and love. And when you feel ready, begin to find some gentle movement. Maybe you wiggle your fingers and toes, or allow your head to fall from one side and then to the other. And moving on to one side, pausing in a fetal position for a moment. Give yourself a little gratitude for showing up tonight, for dedicating this time just for you. And again, once you feel ready, making your way back up to a seated position, we'll meet with our hands at our hearts. And your eyes can remain closed, or you can have a soft gaze. And let's take one collective breath to seal our practice. So a nice big inhale through the nose. And exhale, sigh it out the mouth. Thumb knuckles come to our third eye. May you find contentment in your daily life, and may you radiate love and light. Namaste. Oh no.